you seen Star Wars?
So back in 2012, before Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, he released a trailer for a show called Star Wars Detours. It was made by Seth Green, the guy who works on Robot Chicken, and after making the adult humor of Robot Chicken Star Wars, Lucas wanted Seth Green to make Star Wars Detours, which would be a parody of the Star Wars universe, but was geared towards a younger audience that likely would have aired on Cartoon Network. And after Disney purchased Lucasfilm, they shifted all their focus towards the sequel trilogy, of course, and now Star Wars Detours has never seen the light of day. And I have to say, it's pretty interesting to think of an alternate reality where this show aired on Cartoon Network and to see how it did with Star Wars fans. But recently, there was an episode that leaked onto Reddit. It was about 6 minutes long, and it mainly took place in Dexter's Diner, where two of the bounty hunters held up the place, basically, and were like robbing it, but then didn't take any money, and then were holding the people hostage. It was okay. It was what it was, alright? Like, I wish I could show you the footage of the episode, but it seems like it's been taken down by Reddit, so if there's an update on its source, I'm going to download it to my computer so I can have it saved for you guys and show it to you. But I will admit, the episode was not really good or funny, and maybe it was because of the premise of this specific episode or the characters that this specific episode focus on, but I didn't even grin or chuckle throughout the entire episode. I see some people make these videos where like, it's amazing, and I'm like, what do you think is funny? I mean, it does feel very similar to Robot Chicken, which I assume is very intentional, being made by the same creators, but it misses all the landings with its jokes. It's like adult humor covered up with a like kind of more childlike vibe. Maybe Disney watched the series and no one at the office laughed and decided this thing should never see the light of day. And I mean, honestly, if this did end up releasing back in 2013 or 2012 when we got the first trailer, I think it would have done well on Cartoon Network. And I would be around the age of 13 or 14 when it released, so I don't know if I would have liked it back then. But part of me thinks I would, as someone who grew up on the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Camp Lazlo, the Codename Kids Next Door show. I really think this show kind of fits that same type of humor and genre that kids like me would like to enjoy back in that time. But even in 2012, I mean, I was getting right, I think I was in like an 8th grade, so this show at that age for me would not have done that well. Now, if it was a couple of years earlier, maybe if I was in 2008 or 2010 and that show released, then that kind of humor would have worked really well, because I think that kind of genre of humor worked well at that time on Cartoon Network kind of programs. But there's always some scenes that do make me laugh in this show. There's one right here with George Lucas, and I think this is good humor.
Join me, and together we will rule the galaxy.
Cut! I quit! This is the holiday special all over again.
And I mean, I still think the show should have been aired eventually. I mean, why work on all that stuff and throw it away? It had 39 episodes, which equaled 2 entire seasons. I think it should get a fighting chance, you know, release it, at least release season 1 or even a few episodes and see how audiences react to it. But truth be told, it makes sense why Disney never really backed this show. I mean, you just buy the rights to Star Wars a few months after this show was announced. It probably wouldn't be the best message to the world that the first piece of content in this new era of Star Wars is a slapstick comedy show that would not fit the Disney Channel vibe. I mean, if they put this on Cartoon Network, I think it works. If they put it on the Disney Channel, I really don't see an audience for it there. I feel like the kids who watch Cartoon Network and the kids who watch Disney Channel have very differing styles of humor. With that said though, I think if enough fans truly want this show to be released, then Disney probably would do a Disney Plus release. There's almost no real cost to it other than marketing the show, and they don't really have to do that. The Star Wars fans will do it themselves. There are leaks of the show from time to time that generate interest every few years. There is a podcast called the George Lucas Talk Show, and those guys over there claim to have at least half of the episodes to Star Wars Detours, so I'd imagine like a full season. And they say they would never release them, which makes sense for legal reasons. But what that does mean is that the lost episodes exist somewhere in this world. But we just have to find a way to release them so we can see this unaired Star Wars show that may never be officially released. It may just end up as one of those Star Wars projects that never really come to fruition, which is sad. One silver lining could be the fact that Disney's never allowed the episodes to be released, or maybe it's Lucasfilm, the people over there who haven't allowed it to be released, is that maybe they do have plans for the show in the future. Maybe one day, like in 2022, when it's been 10 years since the show was supposed to air, they release it finally, and they just let everyone watch it on Disney Plus. There's that possibility. I mean, there might be a reason why they're kind of protective over that, but also, I do think that there's a good case to make that there just isn't a lot of demand for this, even from normal Star Wars fans. A lot of the times when we show off clips and trailers of the show, a lot of people are kind of turned off by it. But I think for me, in a historical kind of sense for Star Wars, which I know is an odd route to go with it, I think it has some significance, because this is kind of the last big Star Wars project George Lucas worked on before selling the company to Disney. I mean, he wanted to make a live-action Star Wars series. That never came to fruition because of the cost. And then this was the last thing he was working on that, you know, he endorsed. He was working on these guys day to day on what the show would be about, the humor that was going to be used. So I think there's some significance to it in that aspect, and I really do wish that we would see it come to light one day, but when that day is, I don't know. But tell me your thoughts below. Did you guys watch the episode of Star Wars Detours before it got taken down on Reddit? And would you like to see the show actually release one day on Disney Plus? Maybe go back to Cartoon Network? You tell me below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this video, please like, comment, or subscribe, because it does help out the channel. Star Wars only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.